One fight that I know a lot of people want to see is Errol Spence Jr. against Terence Crawford. There was some back and forth on Twitter between the two. What did you make of all that, and what do you think about that matchup and the possibility of it actually happening going forward?
I really don't, and Kenneth can tell you because he gets all of my, when I'm reading Twitter late at night, he gets all of the stuff that he's seen 6 hours before. And I go, can you believe this? I really don't have time to read a lot of Twitter stuff, and I think I was a day late on that entire thing. But you know what? I didn't make very much of it because you can't make a fight on Twitter. You can't. That's not the way you make a fight. And the people that represent both Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, they know how to make a fight. So when the time comes for that fight to get made, guess what? The adults in the room will step up and they'll make the fight. That's basically what it comes down to. And there's different. Each side has a different view of where they are in this stream of wanting or needing this fight. For Errol Spence, I think he wants to go through the gauntlet of what is in front of him, on the PBC side. And why wouldn't he? He's got Manny Pacquiao, who has a title. That's a title, that's another title unification fight, and then he's got, great matchups with former champions, like Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, and, he's got a great rematch with Errol Spence. So, I think both those guys are at different stages of where they are. I know everybody wants to see it because they're both very skilled. I'm still not sure of how Terence Crawford would fare at the very top of the, at the welterweight division. But that's something that he's gonna have to make his way there. And I see that his promoter has signed Josh Taylor, and maybe they can make that fight at 147 pounds, and he can get some good competition, and then sort of take some time to build his name up and make himself into a star. That's what we're trying to do with Errol Spence. We're trying to make Errol Spence a star, and he's fought twice on pay-per-view last year, and he's building his stardom, and he's been a very nice attraction at the gate. And I think Terence Crawford needs to get himself to that position, or the people around him needs to get him to that position, and they need to explain to him all the things that go into getting into that position, and they need to go out and start working on that kind of thing, and getting him to the stardom that he needs, that sort of matches his talents. And, one thing I think he needs to do is to, have them take a page from what they did with Tyson Fury. They set out, they had a plan. They set out to do all they could to make Tyson Fury into a star, so that when he got back into the ring with Wilder, that would be an attraction. So, his promoters need to take a page from Tyson Fury and apply it to Errol Spence. Not Errol Spence, to Terence Crawford. Find ways to make Terence Crawford a star the way that they tried to make Tyson Fury a star.
As y'all heard in the clip, PBC told Terence the Bug Crawford, if he want the Errol Spence fight now, then tell ESPN to build him up the way they built Tyson Fury. So we here to talk about it. I pretty much said everything that needs to be said on both sides of the equation. And I told y'all a long time ago on Split Decision that the fans are not mentioning the elephant in the room, and that's the PBC. And that's AKA the business side of things. I understand the side of Errol Spence wants to fight. I understand the side of Terence the Bug Crawford wants to smoke. I understand the fans want to see the fight now. However, the elephant in the room is the business, because they could care less about Bug Crawford and what he wants. They could care about what the fans want. However, they're going to feed us something light till that fight takes place. The elephant of the room is also Bob Arum. Let's not forget who Terence the Bug Crawford promoter is. the same promoter that stated he wanted Manny Pacquiao to fight Floyd Mayweather for his last fight. And he pretty much did so, at least for Floyd Mayweather, because that was the fight before his last, right? So Bob Arum from day one been doing this. I mean, he literally a perfectionist at doing so. And of course, Akhi is a perfectionist at breaking things down for the people that's just going around blaming different people for the fight not taking place. So we're gonna talk about it like I said. How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Pieces and blessings upon all my Akhis and all my sisters out there. Welcome to Akhi TV. If you want to be part of the family, then go ahead and subscribe below. If you're trying to get smart about a minute, if you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't. And listen to these casual fans / old media. And of course, happy birthday to the greatest, Ali. He the GOAT. May he rest in peace. You already know on Split Decision we had to represent. And you know I'm in his corner. That's why Akhi undefeated when it comes to debate. So if you want to get notified every time we post on Split Decision live, then click on the notification bell to get notified every time we post live on Split Decision. So let's go ahead and talk about the business at hand. Now, if hearing this news took you by surprise, then I could tell you haven't been listening to Akhi, or at least you haven't been paying attention. Because from day one, PBC been doing what they supposed to do. However, the real question is, have ESPN been doing what they supposed to do on their side of things? I mean, are they promoting Terence "the Bug" Crawford the way they promoted Tyson Fury or Lomachenko, for example, when Tyson Fury and Lomachenko don't really have the talent that Terence Crawford has? The way he switches stands, for example. I mean, they don't even have the background or the story of Terence "the Bug" Crawford, like getting shot in the head and driving yourself to the hospital. And the obvious answer is absolutely not. And the reason why I say that is because if you've been living under a rock and you don't know, when Terence was on ESPN and Max Kellerman and Teddy Atlas told Terence "the Bug" Crawford that he pound for pound #1 like he is on new media, then obviously Terence probably like, man, finally I'm getting my just due on my own network. Then ESPN, during that same interview, they show a clip of their pound for pound list having Lomachenko as pound for pound #1. And just to make the slap on the face a little sweeter, they listed Vasyl Lomachenko record as undefeated. That was just basically an icing on the cake, if you want to call it that. So, like I said, that's why I stay by my stand that I stated time and time again on Split Decision. It's documented if you want to go back and check it out, where I said Terence "the Bug" Crawford need to go to PBC. Because what's the point of loyalty when your own network is not promoting you how they supposed to? So that being said, since the talent pool is with the PBC, how come not go to the PBC and make Haymon force those fights to take place? Because just like Errol Spence, who was the most feared, the tables turned. Now they have to see Errol Spence because he the cash cow of the division. So like I said, Bud could have been in that same position. However, he chose to stick with ESPN and Top Rank for some reason. I don't know if they offered him a contract the way they offered Tyson Fury a contract with up to $60 to $80 million just for a Deontay Wilder fight, really. So like I said, I don't know if they did Bud the same they did Tyson Fury. At least money-wise, promotion-wise, they haven't been doing so. They seem to be dependent on Errol Spence to grow his brand and getting more popular than actually building Terence "Bug" Crawford and spending money to make him a superstar. And you could tell, I mean, just the fact that Bob Arum let Manny Pac-Man go, and now he's about to fight my man Errol the Truth right after he just beat Keith Thurman. It's really a slap in the face, if you ask me, when it comes to how Terence Bud should feel, knowing the fact that Bob Arum let that fight go because he cared about Manny Pacquiao health. When he should at least be saying, well, Manny Pacquiao, he didn't want that smoke with the baddest man on the planet because he's like a southpaw version of Floyd Mayweather in his prime. Instead of saying that, he said Manny Pacquiao didn't avoid the fight. He retracted his statements, claiming that he the one that stopped the fight from taking place because he cared about Manny Pacquiao's health. Ain't that ridiculous? Looking back at hindsight. So what I'm saying is, it's clear to see that Terence "the Bud" Crawford didn't make the cleverest decisions, because if he did, he would have been with PBC right now. That's just the true version of the story, if you ain't trying to sugarcoat it. And that's coming from a Bud Crawford fan and a boxing fan in general. Obviously, it's my job to report being unbiased, and that's just the unbiased standpoint. So while fans going back and forth, while fighters going back and forth, and even encouraging Terence "the Bud" Crawford to make a call, people saying it's a desperate move. I believe it's a G move, calling another fighter, trying to catch the fact if he's bluffing or not. However, the truth is not bluffing. But what's in between the stopping the fight from taking place is the business, and that's the elephant in the room that people want to ignore. However, all these fans say, screw the business. But that's exactly why y'all just fans, not businessmen, because they invested a whole lot of money in the decisions they are making, and PBC are the most successful. So they have to be doing something right. And for the fans that say, well, we pay for the fights, we should get the fights we want to see, right? Which is true. However, not at a cost where PBC is losing or making unintelligent business decisions, because it's up to the fighters sometimes to make the best decision for their career. So PBC, while they could offer Errol Spence the Manny Pacquiao fight, the Keith Thurman fight, the Danny Garcia fight, keep in mind all these fights are big fights on pay-per-view. On the other hand, Terence Crawford don't have all these options, so he has to find a way to build his brand. That's why ESPN just signed Josh Taylor, so they could build that fight in the future if he beat Ramirez and become undisputed to fight Terence "the Bud" Crawford for the meantime. So the point that I'm trying to get across is, it's not PBC's job to build Terence "the Bud" Crawford. That's ESPN's job. So y'all should be pressuring ESPN to do what PBC just claimed, which is build Terence Crawford the way they build up Tyson Fury. Have them having a documentary on Terence Crawford before his fight. I mean, promote him and go as far as promoting Terence Crawford as they did for Tyson Fury. And the fight is going to take place. And like I said, I can't blame them for that, because they're here for a reason. And they want to be in the sport for the longevity. I mean, let Jim Lamley tell it. Years ago, before HBO ship crashed, he said that PBC was going to crash a long time ago. However, Jim Lamley and HBO is no longer with us today. RIP. Meanwhile, PBC has the biggest talent pool in the sport of boxing for making right decisions and making great fights for the past couple years. So you really can't blame PBC, because PBC been doing the most for the last couple years for the sport of boxing. So the fingers should be pointed at Bob Arum. That's the elephant in the room that's not doing his bargain of the deal. So like I said, drop your comments below, subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't, and listen to these casual fans /old media. And obviously click on the notification bell to get notified every time we post to go live on Split Decision. So that being said, shout out to DBN, shout out to Deontay for starting the new media wave. And of course, follow my man Lunatune for the funniest boxing memes. I will leave his link to the IG in the description box below, so keep it a G and follow my man on IG, and follow me too at Akhi TV. You can find both links in the description box below, and the link for the merch, the Akhi treasure, if you want to be dripped up like the Akhi be on Split Decision. You want to have that sacred sauce, you know what I'm saying? Because some people got the juice, some people got the sauce. Shit, Akhi got both. So if you want to be dripped up like that, then obviously go ahead and cop the Akhi merch, because I didn't give y'all the recipe for the sauce. You know what I'm saying? So obviously appreciate all of my Akhis, and to be continue on the next episode of Akhi TV. Peace, and we out here.